One thing I did like about Brian Thomas in this game that I noticed was the fact he caught every ball, even the one where he stepped out of bounds. He caught it. Anything that was thrown at him, he caught it. No juggling, no dropping, no drops. Welcome to this episode of Just the Stats NFL, the show that covers the NFL statistical leaders from the all-time greats to the current players leading the NFL. I'm Ernie Jennings, your host, and in this podcast, we'll be covering the game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the San Francisco 49ers. The game was played in Levi Stadium in San Francisco. Actually, Santa Clara, but San Francisco Stadium. What a game this was, especially for me as a Jaguar fan. They did win this game 26-21. Now, there are no top 10s in this game, so we'll just move right into the game itself. It was a really interesting game. The Jaguars jumped out to a 17-6 lead at halftime. Looked pretty good. And then the San Francisco started making a comeback in the second half, and it ended up a pretty tight game at 26-21 with the 49ers trying to move down the field to score another touchdown to win the game. Eric Armstead created a fumble, knocked the ball out of Purdy's hands. The Jaguars recovered it, and that was the game. But it was really a fascinating, fun game to watch, back and forth. And the Jaguars continue to lead the NFL in turnovers, takeaways, that is. 4 more in this game. It's been incredible. The amount of turnovers they're creating for their defense keeps the Jaguars in every game, despite the offense not looking that great. All right, let's look at some of the numbers. First down, San Francisco 22, Jacksonville 18. Total net yards, San Francisco had 389 yards, 325 for Jacksonville. Big difference here is in where the yards were spread out. For the Jaguars, they had 151 yards rushing, net yards rushing, to only 83 for the 49ers. Big difference there. Now, obviously, that's reversed when you're looking at the passing game. But the 49ers did have to play comeback, so there was a lot more passing on their end of the game. San Francisco had 2 interceptions. They had 3 fumbles, 2 of which they lost. So it was quite a game for the Jaguar defense. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Now, the one area of troubling for the Jaguars continues to be the fact that they can't stop being penalized, especially on the offense. Another game with more than 10. They had 12 penalties for 90 yards in this game. Another weakness, third down efficiency, 4 for 14 for only 28%. San Francisco, on the other hand, one of the better ones I've seen this week, 8 third down conversions on 13 attempts for a 61% average there, or percent. Looking at the time of possession, the Jaguars dominated fairly well here, 32.5 minutes to 27.5 minutes for San Francisco, so a 5-minute difference there. All right, let's look at the quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, decent game. 21 completions on 31 attempts, only 174 yards, though, only 5.6 yards per attempt. 1 touchdown, no interceptions this game, which was his first, I believe, without an interception. And he was not sacked again. The offensive line has been really impressive for the Jaguars as far as the run game and also protecting Trevor Lawrence. He ended up with a quarterback rating of 92.7. Pretty decent. Now, Brock Purdy, 22 completions, 1 more completion here on 38 attempts, though, for 309 yards. He averaged 8.1 yards per attempt, so that's a big difference there. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That was a killer, and he was sacked only 1 time. He had a quarterback rating of 79.8. Looking at the running backs, Travis Etienne, another big game. He's really looked impressive. And for anybody who was thinking Bashal Tootin would take over. They might as well wait on that for quite a while because Travis Etienne has been really playing quite well. 19 carries in this game for 122 yards, 6.53 yards per carry, and he had a really impressive 48-yard touchdown run. He looks quick. So big game for him. Now, Tootin did have 4 carries for 14 yards. Trevor Lawrence, 7 carries in this game for 7 yards. I don't think he needs to be running 7 times. Brian Thomas had 1 carry for 7 yards. Looking at San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey again dominated in the carries, but it's not been impressive for him. 17 carries, 49 yards, 2.88 yards per carry. Now, obviously, Purdy just getting back in the lineup, and really they don't have that great of an wide receivers and so forth or tight end because they're hurt. A lot of them are hurt. So there's been I would say by the defense definite effort to keep an eye on McCaffrey. 17 carries, 49 yards. Brian Robinson came in, had 5 carries for 21 yards. Brock Purdy had 2 carries for 13 yards in this game. Looking at the wide receivers, Brenton Strange, the tight end, 6 receptions for 45 yards on 7 targets. He tied for most targets with Brian Thomas, who also had 5. He had 5 catches for 49 yards and 7 on 7 targets. He really should have had 6 catches on 7 targets because one of them, he caught the ball, just didn't drag his feet and stepped out of bounds and it was incomplete pass. One thing I did like about Brian Thomas in this game that I noticed was the fact he caught every ball, even the one where he stepped out of bounds. He caught it. Anything that was thrown at him, he caught it. No juggling, no dropping, no drops. So that was good to see because he had a definite drop problem in the first 3 games. Travis Hunter, 3 catches on 5 targets for 42 yards. I think that might be the most he's been targeted in a game. Hunter Long, 3 catches, 23 yards, but one of them was for a touchdown, the one receiving touchdown in this game. Now, Travis Etienne also had 1 catch, but only for a yard. Tootin, 1 catch for 8 yards. So the running backs had a total of 3. LaQuint Allen had 1 for 7 yards. So not too many passes to the running backs in this game, more to the wide receivers and the tight ends. Looking at San Francisco, McCaffrey led in this category as well, and this is where he's really been impressive, is more in the passing game, receiving game than he has been in the running game. 6 receptions for 92 yards, was targeted 11 times, more than double any of the wide receivers or any other player. Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver, had 4 catches for 46 yards on 5 targets. So that was the next best amount of targets compared to the 11 by Christian McCaffrey. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but McCaffrey had a touchdown as well. So McCaffrey, look at him again, touched the ball again in this game 23 times. He's really been the guy they go to in running, receiving, whatever, for 140 yards so far. 141 yards, I guess it would be. A big game for him. After that, really nobody too. Jake Tonga's 3 catches, 58 yards for a touchdown on 5 targets. That was the next most targeted guy along with Ricky Pearsall. Now, Jawan Jennings was back in this game, only had 2 catches for 24 yards on 4 targets. You'll probably see that definitely go up as he gets more into the game as the season goes along. A total of 22 receptions for 309 yards for Brock Purdy. All right, looking at the defenses. This is where the Jacksonville Jaguars have been impressive. Tyson Campbell had a pretty good game. 9 total tackles, 4 solo, 5 assists. Devin Lloyd, 2 interceptions in this game, 8 total tackles. It was really incredible, his play in this game. He also, I believe, I'm trying to see here. Yeah, I guess that was what he had. Yeah. So just 2 really big interceptions in this game. Aloy Khan, always a good tackler, had 7 tackles in this game. Those are the top players. And then Eric Armstead had a big sack as well as caused a fumble in this game that was key to the game. Big game for him as well. That was the only sack in the game. Now for San Francisco, D. Winters, 10 tackles, 9 solo, 1 assist. That was the big guy there. And a couple players with 8. Fred Warner, another big game, 6 tackles, or 8 tackles, 6 solo, 2 assists. And again, no interceptions, no sacks of the quarterback. Big for the Jaguars in this game. Really important. All right, that is a wrap for this game. It was a huge game for the Jaguars. They win it 26-21 over the at the time, undefeated 49ers. 49ers fall to 3-1, and the Jaguars are also 3-1. Next up for the 49ers, actually, I should tell you that 49ers now lead this series 5-3. Next up for the 49ers are the Rams, a big divisional game on Thursday night. They're both 3-1, so this is a big game for them. And a huge game for the Jaguars on Monday night. The only, I think, primetime game they have, it's Monday night against the Chiefs. Chiefs are 2-2. The Jaguars are 3-1. So the 49ers was a big test for the Jaguars going into this game. That was the biggest test they'd had this season compared to the other 2 games of the 3 games they'd had. This game against the Chiefs will be the biggest test, one of the biggest tests they'll have all year. So we'll see how it goes for them on Monday Night Football. It will be in Jacksonville. All right, that is a wrap for this game. You can catch me on YouTube at Just the Stats NFL, also on your podcast sites at Apple, Spotify, any podcast. If you can't find it, let me know. Also, you can email me at justthestatsnfl@gmail.com. Appreciate you listening. If you could subscribe or I'd like that, and leave me a comment if you feel like it, and I will try to respond back as well to that. Again, thank you for listening, and I'm out to the next game.